and welcome everyone. My name is Fleur and today we're going to work into our hip mobility, so hip openers, but also working into the rotation of the hips and strengthening them as well a bit. So all you need maybe is something that you can sit on, so maybe some blocks or pillows or cushions. And I've got some friends practicing with me, so here we go. Let's start. Bring out yourself into a nice wide open stance, so with your feet turned out, and then you can bring your hands onto your hips and it starts with just a little bit of bending and straightening the legs. So here we go. Make sure your knees point out to the side, right above your feet, and then push the floor away and straighten back up. And again, bend your knees, make it nice and slow, draw the belly in and push the floor away. And again, bending and straightening. Imagine you're pressing something up with your head, pushing the floor away. Squeeze the glutes. Let's do 4 more. 4, and pushing up. And 3, and pushing up. And 2, and pushing up. Last one. 1, staying here. Make sure your knees are right over the ankle. Good, and then from here just take a little twist into the twist, a tucking and arching a little bit into the back. So forward and back, forward and back. If you've got dance hall music on, someone's quite good. Just a little rocking for another 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Good. And then from here, straighten the legs again, turning your toes in. And then from here, just bring the feet a little bit closer together so that they're underneath your hips, and then bend your knees again, and then start to rotate into your hips. Circling 6 times in one direction. This is 3, and 4, bending your knees, and 5, good, and 6. Go the other way around, bend your knees, and 6, rotate, and 5. Make sure your knees are bent so that you can go a little bit lower. 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Well done. Coming back to standing nice and tall. Good. From here, place your weight into your right leg and then lift up your left leg, holding it here for a moment. And then from here, if you need something to support yourself, start to just swing the leg backwards and forwards. Little swings backwards and forwards. I'll go sideways, backwards and forwards. For another 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And let's change over, bringing your leg down. Hi Anna, you made it, well done. And then bring up your other leg, hold the knee, and then again, swing out the leg, shaking it up. 4, 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Well done. Bring the legs back down, shake the legs out for a moment. Again, if you need some support for a hand, maybe a chair, you can do that. Lift up again your left leg. Hold the leg here. And we're going to start rotating into the leg. Knee out to the side, and bring it back in. 5 more times. Knee out to the side for 2, and back in. Try to keep the hip bones facing forward. 3, and back in. And 4, and back in. And 5, and back in, and 6, holding it here. We're going to bring the knee down and do circles. 1, and down, and 2, and down, and 3, and down. If you're feeling wobbly, make sure you hold on to something. 4, and 5, good, and 6. Guess what? Other way around. Here we go. 6, you can make the movements quite small. Imagine you're moving all the way over something. And 3, and 2, and last one. Well done, brilliant. And then bring the knee down. Let's change over sides. Give your leg a little shake. Lift up the other leg. Hold it here, and then again, out to the side. 1. So we're also working the core because we are using our abdominal muscles to bring them in and out. For 3, and back in, and for 4, and back in. Try to keep this engaged because if you go too far, that's when you start to wobble. 5, 6. 6 times into circles, bring the knee down, out of the side. 1, as if you're lifting over a fence. And 2, good. And 3, and down. And 4. So depending on what music you're playing, you can also do it to your own music. 5, but try to keep it nice and regular. 6, other way around, out of the side. 1, down and back up. And 2. Try to keep the breath steady. 3, good, Jenna, that's it. And 4, well done, Ruth. And 5, and 6, really good. Step the foot back down, give your other leg a little shake. I'm going to work into the glutes now. So from here, we're just going to start bringing up the left leg back up again. Knee in height of your hip. And then reaching your arms up. Find a little balance here. And then on, slowly stepping your leg back and come into a lunge. Squeeze your back glute. Reach up your arms. Try to draw the hips forward. And then reach the arms back. And press into the front leg. Lift the knee back up. And 5 more times. Stepping the leg back. You can make the movement quite small. Squeeze the glute. Lift your arms up. So you're opening up through the front of the hip. And arms back. Try not to use momentum, but gradually, slowly lift the knee up. 3. Good. And leg back. And lift your arms up. Keep the shoulders soft. Lift up the heel of the back foot. And 4. Knee up. Nearly there. Nice and controlled. Slow down, Valentine. Draw the belly a little. Arms up. Good. And arms down. Last one. 5, is this 5? I think it is. And back. And arms up. Stay here. Bring your hands onto your hips. Oops, I just caught my ring in my palms. And then bend your back knee. Bend it. Ruth, mindful of your knees. If this is too intense, just see if you can bend the knees just a little bit. If you want it more intense, try to get the knee quite close down to the floor. And make sure your front knee doesn't come over your toes. So you have to keep the weight back. That's it. Well done. Little pulses. 4, 6, and 5, and 4. And I'll bring your front foot further back. 4, 3, 2, your knees coming forward a little bit too much. And 6. Stay here. Rock your pelvis forward and back for 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Well done. Push into your front foot, lift your knee back up, and step the foot down. Legs should start to feel like heavy. Now we're going to do this all on the other side. So here we go. Lift up your other leg, lift up the arms, find the balance, and then step the leg back. Nice and slowly. Keep the back leg straight, squeeze your butt cheeks, lift up the arms, inhale, and then bring the hands back down. And again, push into your front leg, slowly lift up your left leg. And then moving the leg back. Bending front leg, back heel stay high, lift up the arms. Try and imagine you're pushing down to the ball of the foot and arms down. Find the balance, lift up the leg, lift up the arms. And number 3, leg go back. Back leg is straight, arms reach up. Shoulders soft, arms go down. And lift up the leg. 5, arm and legs go back. And draw the navel in. Imagine your hips want to tuck forward. Arms go down. Last one. Lift up the knee, lift up the arms. And last one. 6. Go back with the foot. Lift up the arms, hold it for a moment. Good. And then bring your hands onto your hips. Bend your back knee. That's it. Draw the weight backwards so that you're as if you're sitting just with your hips over your back knee. Good. And then from here, tiny little dips for 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Stay low. Hands can be on the lower back, tilting backwards and forwards, and backwards and forwards, and 3, and back, and 4, and back, and 5, and back, and 6, and back. well done. Press into your front leg, lift up your left leg, and then placing it back down. Well done. Shaking out the legs one more time. Coming back to center. Just make sure that my head is on it, because sometimes it isn't. I just see that it's not there. Good. Okay, from here, lifting up again. I'll mirror you. Lifting up again your right leg, your left leg. This is your left leg, my right. Hands to your hips, making sure you're not anywhere dodgy in your leg. And then from here, turn out the leg again. And now, straighten the leg. And bend. 6 times. Straighten on your exhale. And bend. 2. Straighten. Bend. 3. 4. Lengthen to the toes. Bend. And 5. Keep engaging the belly. Bend. And 6. You're going to love this one now. Circling. And 1. Straight, straight. And 2. Slow down, Jenna. And 3. And 4. And 5. Make it smaller if you want to. And 6. Don't lean back, Anna. And other way around. 1. And the arms can be up to the side as well if it helps you. And 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. Well done. Bring the leg down, shake up the legs. The other side. Lifting up your knee again. Left knee, bring it out to the side. Holding it here in this angle. So where you feel your hip bones are facing forward. And then we're just going to straighten the leg. 1. And bend. And 2. And bend. Point the toes, David. 3. So you have a little bit more action in the calf. 4. Valentini, point the toe. That's it. 5. Good. And keep reaching up through the core. 6. Holding it there. And here we go. This is going in your hip flexor, so we're strengthening it. 1. Circling. And 2. Make it nice and even. 3. Arms can be up by the side on your hips. 4. And 5. And 6. Other way around. Here we go. And 1. And 2. Good ratio. That's it. And 3. And 4. That's it. Always use a help if you need to. 5. And 6. Lift the knee up. And shake it out through the legs. Well done. I'm going to go into the back, so one more time to the glutes. Lengthen your right leg away behind you. Draw on the navel. So notice if you're letting the belly be floppy, try to tuck your tailbone a little bit under so you feel your butt cheek engaged. So if you place your hand here on that little dimple of your butt cheek, it should sort of slightly be feeling hard, not soft. So I'm going hard butt. Okay. And then we're not going very far. We just want to bring the hands onto the hips for now. And then we're going to just lift the leg a few inches off the ground and we're going to pulse, little pulses. So we're activating our glute. Again, you can maybe have the hands on the wall or in a chair. Let's do another. 6 and 5 and 4 and 3. Point your toes, everyone. And 5 and 6. Well done. Bend your knee forward. Bring the knee into the chest. So it should start to feel like all of the area of your hips is getting warmed up. And then place the leg down. Let's do the other side. Lengthen your left leg away behind you. Point the toes. Again, hands onto your hips. Drawing into the core muscles. And then point to activate your back glute. And here we go. Little pulses. Keeping the chest nice and open. And let's do another. 6. And we're going to 5. Lovely breath. And 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. And then bringing your knee back into your chest. So you might have felt this also a little bit into the back of the hamstrings. And then place the leg back down. Looking a little bit into the mobility. So come back to a little wide stance with your toes turning out to the side. So my mat is slightly diagonal, so it might look a little bit strange, but I'm in one line with my toes pointing at the same line where my knees are. Hands can be on your hips for this, or you can have the arms out to the side. So the movement is going to be this. We're going to lift up one heel and then place it back down. And then the other heel and then place it back down. Try to keep the chest open. Lift one heel and down. and lift the other heel, and back down. And so 2 more round, heel, and down. Draw the navel in, heel, and down. Last round, heel, and heel down, and other heel, and down. Come back to the original side, and then we're going to maybe reach the arms up, and do little pulses, or you can keep the hands there for another 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Bring your hands back down for a moment, other side. Left heel up, arms reach up, and again, little pulses. 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Tap the tailbone under, make sure that tailbone is tucked. Bring your hands back onto your hips. From here, lift up your heel and rotate it inwards. Little curtsy, and then coming back to the center. If this is intense, make it a little bit smaller so you don't go into the full movement. Do it in your own time. So turning nice and slowly, inward rotation of your femur, and then coming back up, plie. So a little turning out with the toes, and again lifting the heel, bending your knees, turning back in, and plie. Really good. And turning in. Make sure that your tailbone is tucked so that when you do your squat, you're not pushing your hips back. You want to keep them right in the middle of your heels. So you're not pushing the hips back. We'll do that later. Do 2 more rounds. We shall stop. Too much. But it's okay. Take a break if you need to. So I know this is quite warming. There we go. Well done. Lovely. From here, bend your knees. I know the thighs are starting to burn. And now you're going to bring your hands forwards. Bring them forwards. And this time, start to move your hips back. Move them back. Good. And then see if you can reach your arms up to your ears for 10 times. Here we go. 10. And down. And 9. And down. You need to straighten the legs in between. Please do so. 8. And 7. And 6. Imagine you pressing down with your feet. 5. And 4. Feel your belly engage and your glutes. 3. Nearly there. And 2. And 1. Well done. Bring your hands onto your thighs. Come a little lower. And then from here, push your hands into your upper thighs and take a little Zumba Ringo stance. So side to side, side to side. Good. Well done. And then from here for a moment, just pushing into the floor, straightening your legs, and then turning your feet in from a moment. So sides of your feet are parallel to the side of your mat, reaching your arms out to the side and start to fold forward. Draw the belly button in so that you don't round, that will go into your lower back and it doesn't feel very good. So you want to just come forward a little bit like an aeroplane and then push into your feet and come back up. Let's do 5 more. Breathing out. Lengthen the crown of the head forward so your head doesn't drop, but you're also not lifting your chin too high, and coming back up. Lovely. 4 more. Nice and slowly until you feel the back of the hamstrings, and lifting back up. And 3. Imagine your arms are reaching either side of the room, nice and wide, and back up. And last one. And coming back up. Well done. From here, turning out your left leg. So you're in a warrior 2 position, bending your knee and then bring your elbow onto the thigh. Tuck your tailbone under, so your hips are not going back, they're tucking under. You can come a little bit higher if your knee doesn't feel comfortable. And then see if you either want to keep the elbow there, or you can just reach your arm down and then lift up through the other arm and open the chest. Good, so you're pressing down. Gently bring your knee a bit further back, so your knee doesn't come over your ankle. That's better. Good. Lovely. Hold it there. And I'll make your stance a bit wider. That's it. Try to draw the hip down. There we go. Good. All right. Arm circles. Let's just do a few arm circles. Bring the arm down and lifting the arm all the way up. So you're working a little bit into the shoulders. Lowering down and lift it back up. And last one, lowering down and lift it back up. Change direction all the way up and over, and lowering back down, and lifting up and over. Head stays soft. Last one, lifting up and over, and then look down towards the floor, and bring your hand down inside of your left foot. You can bring your back knee down, good, or you can keep the knee lifted, your choice. And then lift the opposite arm, so your left arm up to the sky, and open the chest. So coming into a little twist here. That's it, good. Neck stays nice and long, and we can bring the back knee down. Well done. And then bring both hands inside of your left foot. So you're in a lizard position. Again, if you want to, bring your back knee down, maybe pad it with a pillow or something. You can untuck the toes as well. And just feel into this position. Option one, you can start to rotate into the hips. So little circles in one direction. Option two, if you want, you can lift your back knee off and then come into a forward and backward rocking motion, if that feels good. If you're feeling quite open in your hips already, you can bring your outside elbow down. So come into a sort of lizard and do the same little rocking. Stay here for a little bit, so moving into your circles, or just feeling where your hips are. Try not to push down. Try to find the right movement for yourself. That's it. David, bring your hand inside of your knee. So left arm into, that's it, good. So you come a little lower with the hips. Well done. And then from here, everyone bring your back knee down to the floor. And then bring your hands onto your knee. Make sure your knee is again over your ankle. And then push yourself up into a, what's this called? A lunge, a low lunge with the knee down. Good. Taking a little tuck again of your tailbone. Feel that you're opening up through the front of your hip flexor. And if you like, reach your arms up and just hold it here for a moment. Feeling that you're softening the ribs down. Core still engaged, you're not just collapsing into your legs or your hips. And then activate your butt cheek. So squeeze your butt cheek. Good. That's it. Well done. And then slowly from here, bringing your hands around your foot. Frame your foot. If it's too low, make sure that you maybe have something to support your legs. And then draw your leg back and find the hamstring stretch. See if you can roll the hips backwards so your front leg is stretched. And you can again rock a little bit forward and back. So bending and leaning back. Or if you're quite comfortable here, maybe you want to soften your upper body towards your straight legs. So a little hamstring stretch. See what feels a little better for your leg. Nice and soft, so still careful. Let's do two more. And one more. Well done. And from here, stepping your right foot onto the floor, tuck your back toes under, come back up and just bring your left heel back down to the floor. Walk your hands inside so that your toes are still turning away from you, but your back foot is turning slightly to the front. And then from here, draw your hips back. And then from here, lean your arms as far forward as you can. This one might feel quite intense for your hips because you're pressing down into your foot. David, bend your bent knee more and straighten the other leg. Yes, good. And then slowly turning both toes in. And let's come towards the leg that was just straight. Hold with your, your right hand, the outside of your left leg, and draw yourself down towards that leg without trying to get the hips collapsing to the left side. So you have to try to keep the hips level to the floor. And just breathe here, breathing and gently drawing yourself towards that leg. Good. Feeling that stretch in the back of the leg. Well done. And we're going to do that all on the other side. So from here, coming back to center, bend your knees, turning your toes out, bring your hands back onto your thighs, press them into the thighs to have the knees slightly open, and then Zumba stance, push the floor away, come back to standing. Well done. And after remember what I did, turning your, your right toes out to the right side, and come to a warrior stance. So your back leg is nice and straight, you're pushing down to the outside of your foot, and your tailbone is tapped. Your knees turning towards the little toe side, and then bring your elbow down towards the thigh. Try to draw your hips towards the floor, but don't let the knee come too far forward. Jenna, bring the knee slightly further back. That's it, but bring your back leg further away from you. I think you've got more space. That's it, well done. Good, and then reaching the arm up and over. Feel that length. If you want more, you can open the arm, lifting the chest here, and coming into your circles. 3 in one direction, and then the other direction. Open the chest, navel draws in. 2, and 3. Widening through the chest, and other way around. 1, 2, and 3. Looking down to the floor, bring your hand down to the floor, lift your back heel off the ground, and then either bringing your back knee down and then lifting up through your right arm, or you can keep the left leg straight, keep the neck long, pushing into your hand, press down into your bent leg, that's your right leg, and then bringing both hands again inside of your right foot. Again, you can either bring the knee down and make little circles, so do it a little bit gentler, or you can keep the back leg straight and maybe coming backwards and forwards, as if you want to get the hips further and further down. Try to keep the chest open so you're not rounding too much into the spine. Keep that back leg straight if it's straight. You're just rolling with the top of the toes, so it's also a little toe massage. Good. If you can feeling quite comfortable, you can bring the elbows down in the same height as your, what's the word, as your ankle. Keep forgetting those words. And then from here, when you're ready, bring the back knee down, untuck the back toes, and then bring your hand onto your knee if that's available, or you can keep low. And then finding the pushing down into the foot, drawing your hips forward, feeling this area open by squeezing your glute cheek. Imagine you're drawing that knee towards the front, keeping the chest lifted. Maybe you want to raise up through the arms. So a lot of it is strengthening that whole area of your legs, which will bring your front leg a little bit in so your legs are like scissors. Your right leg, that's better, good. You don't want it too wide up to the side. Well done. And then slowly bringing your hands back down to the floor. Good. And then tucking your back toes under, bringing your heel down, and then walking your hands into the center. Make sure your knee stays over your ankle, and see if you can reach your hands forward. You can also just keep them here, and feel again into your groins. This is what we're stretching. Knee doesn't fall in, it turns out to the back. Good. And then from here, straightening the leg, turn both toes inwards, and then with your left hand grab the outside of your ankle or your calf. The hand can be onto your lower back. Activate your kneecaps and draw yourself down towards your leg, your right leg. Take a deep breath. I've forgotten the backwards and forwards, didn't I? I have to go backwards and forwards. That's how it happens. We'll do that after. And slowly releasing the hands. We'll come back. I'm very sorry, we'll have to go back. Bring the back knee down. Just realised I've forgotten. And then we're going to go backwards and forwards. So backwards and forwards through the front leg. Or if you're quite comfortable here, you can also fold and release. So 6 times. Breathing. And then drawing back. You can untuck the back toes or you can keep them tucked. Whatever feels a little gentler on your knee. Good. Really good. So here we go. We did halfway, strengthening through the legs. So now we're going to come onto the floor. So coming maybe into forward and then bring one knee in, and you can sit down on your back, or you can come into any other way. Maybe you want to bring the leg back and then sit onto one side. We're going to start in a open leg position with our knees slightly bent and our hands behind our back. Good. From here, working on to the rotation of our hips. We're starting just by No, not the rotation. We're first going to start with straightening. So we're going to take a breath in, and then on your exhale, flex your feet and push your legs away. If you feel like this is quite intense and you still feel you're pulling back, maybe sit on something like some blocks, which you can also do. And then again, bend the knees and then push the heels away. 5 more times. Bend the knees. My mat is kind of rolling up. And then push the legs away. Keep going. Try and stay on the mat. And bend the knees and push the legs away. Bend the knees and squeeze through the heels. You might even try to draw the knees down to the floor. 2 more. Bending the knees and squeeze them away. Good, Ruth. And squeeze the knees and draw the knees away. Just one at a time. Bend one knee, pull it in, and then squeeze it away. Other side. Bend your right leg and squeeze it away. Keep the core engaged. You can also do it with the arms forward. Bend the knee and squeeze it away. And bend the knees and squeeze it away. Last round. Bend the knee and squeeze it away. Try to pull the toes out of the side. Bend the knee and squeeze it away. Good, well done. Bring your hands onto your temples or gently behind your head. And then point your toes. Good. And then from here, press again down with your knees so you activate the legs. Can you see this? You can also do this with slightly bent knees and the toes pointing down to the floor. And we're going to start little circles. 6 times in one direction and then 6 times in the other. Try not to collapse down, so you want to control it. Up, good. And round 2. And back up. Keep the shoulders nice and soft and keep the elbows out to the side, so don't bring the elbows close together. 4 and up. And 5. Imagine the same distance between your chin and your chest, so you're not collapsing down with your chin. Last one, and other way round. When you come back up, here we go. 1 and up. Feel also the movement of your torso, your spine. 2 and 3. Keep your shoulder away from the ears. 4 and 5 and 6. Really good. Well done. Coming back up, give your leg a little shake. Good. Legs should feel heavy-ish. Now the next one is, again, this is the one that it's going to inward and outward rotation. Bend your knees. I have to keep my order. Hands can be, again, behind your back for support, or you can bring the hands forward, just clasp the hands so that they don't go anywhere, which is a little bit harder. So I'll show you the hands on the back. We're going to keep the legs as open as we can, so they turn out, and you're going to start by bringing one knee in, and then bringing the other knee out of the side. So you're going to turn towards that knee, drawing the hip forward, and then again, rolling back. Try to keep this knee down on the floor, whilst you lift this knee up, coming back into a frog position. Yes, and then draw that knee down while this knee pulls inwards, and then this knee comes to the floor, and you turn towards that leg. Feeling this muscle here activate. And then again, hands can be again by your back, or for a little bit more core in the front. Try to be really precise with this. So when you pull that hip forward, you feel how your glutes engage. Keep going. Lifting up one knee. Good. Wow. And then slowly back in. It's a little bit of a in the body. Make it nice and slow. Lifting up. You might also notice you moving forward a bit. So that happens automatically. Good, Rachel. That's it. And then lift that knee. Well done. Body control. Draw the navel in. Do one more round. Try to keep the knee open. And then fold. And then last one. Rolling over. And coming back after moves back again. Screen. Now from here, this is one for our glutes. So this glutes is of course part of the hip system, and they're usually a little bit weak. So option, you can bring the hands forward, or if you want more, this is quite intense, so you can again reach the arms and forward, maybe interlace the hands. We're going to lift our back leg 6 times up, and then we're going to hold it there and pulse. You might feel a little crampy feeling in there, so if that's too much, you can just squeeze your glute, thinking of drawing the hip forward, engaging the glutes. So if you're feeling there's a little cramp, that is kind of normal, so that we want to strengthen this whole area. You can also come a little bit further forward, which makes it a little bit easier. So you're just balancing forward with your chest to lift up. Are you ready? Here we go. 6 times. Squeeze the glute. 1 and lower. And 2 and lower. If you want more. 4, 3 and lower. For 4 and lower. For 5. I'm getting a look. And for 6. Hold it there. Little pulses. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring yourself back down. How was that? Give your bum a little drum and then come back to the other side, rotating to the other side. Whew, I know. When I do these, I'm like, wow. So intense burning. Remember, you can bring the hands slightly forward. You can just squeeze by drawing your hips forward instead of the lift. 6 times lifting. Very nice and smoothly activate your core. 6 and lower. And 5. Lower. 4. Lower. 3. Lower. Don't think of height. 2. Lower. 1. Hold it. Little pulses. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good. Release. Give that a little drum. Really good. And then come back to center. Okay. Straighten out the leg. And give your legs a little shake. Fantastic. Really good. And then from here, we're going to take little lifts around our legs. So sitting on your hips, bring the legs out in front of you. If this is challenging for you, you can sit on some blocks or maybe some cushions. I'll show you the alternative. So you might want to sit on something like pillows. And the idea is that you place your hands around your leg and then you lift up. Now, if you're sitting on some pillows, you're a little bit too high to fold forward. So you can just fold forward and then come back up and then fold over to the other side and come back up and try to open the leg a little bit more. And then do the same, folding to one leg on your exhale and the other leg. If you're on the floor with your legs straight, you're going to do this. You're going to fold, so you're going to bring the hands around your leg and then you're going to lift up, pressing into the heels and try to place your hips back down, finding a little bit more space. Then framing your other leg and again, push the floor away, pressing the heels into the floor, lifting up and placing yourself back down. As if you are trying to get your hips a little bit further forward, but your heels stay the same position where they are. You have to go slightly back, otherwise it's not going to work. Let's do this 3 times each side. So 6 times in total. Frame one leg and then again, lift the floor away, press the heels into the floor, draw the hips forward and place back down. Frame the other leg and again, draw belly in, push the floor away, activate the legs, draw the hips forward and place them back down. That's it, good. Good, Rich, that's it. Lifting up, well done, and coming back down. Woo! Activate the core. Last 2 rounds, lifting up, draw the hips forward and place yourself back down. And again, frame the leg, that's it, and then press the floor down, lift, and hips come forward and down. Good, last one, you should feel this here. Everyone feel this? Yes? Good. And then lifting up. And now maybe you feel that you're a little bit more open in your straddle. Okay, so from here, this is not our end position. We're going to bring the hands forward. And just nice and slowly draw the belly button in. Point your toes. Good. And then you can bring your hands onto your hips. You can have them forward if you want more. Bring them behind your head. And we're going to press the legs into the floor. And we're going to fold and come back up. The movement can be super small. The movement can be basically you just bending your elbows and then coming back up. What I want you to avoid is doing a reaching. So you want to keep it there and just pressing your legs down and just doing a little jim with a nice straight back. So if you're already here, Again, sit on something a little bit higher so that you feel that you're nice and straight and you're hinging from your pelvis. Folding forward. Good. Do 10 in your own time. Try not to use momentum so you're not just bouncing forward, you're holding. So forward, leaning towards the front and pushing back up. Here we go. And 2, pointing your toes so you're active in your legs and coming back up. And 3, remember the movement can be really small. You're working just with your own range. And 4, remember the shoulders kind of want to come down, want to help you. So keep this space nice and open. 5, good Valentini, that's it. And 6, yes. And 7, and I think you can even have the hands on your temples or behind your head, because you have to use your core then. More, good. And 8, and coming back up. And 9, nearly there. And back up, looking very good. Keep your toes pointed, nice and active. 10, try and stay there. Activate your glutes. Hold it there. Try to lift your chest a little bit. Activate the core. Squeeze your butt cheeks as if you want to pull them together. Hold for 10, for 9, for 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and release. Well done. Walk yourself back and bend your knees in. I know, bend your knees in. Everyone's huffing and puffing, but that's okay. So you're doing really well. Make sure that you're still within the range of what feels okay for you. Bring the soles of your feet together. Hold the soles of your feet so you have it quite close towards you. If you have knees, if this doesn't feel comfortable for you, then you can come and sit on something, or you can also take something underneath your hips just for a moment, holding it here. Good. All right, and then from here, bringing your hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. Do it sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Hands behind your back. So my arms are a little bit short, so I can't really get my palms on the floor that well. So this is a little bit low for me. So I come onto my fingertips, but it's not so good. So actually it's much better to bring the palms to the floor. So from here, press your feet together. And now again, squeeze your tailbone underneath you. I think I'm going to here. Squeeze the tailbone underneath you, press the feet together and see if you can lift your hips off the ground. Squeezing your heels together. And slowly bring them back down. Good. And again, squeeze the heels together. Lift the tailbone underneath you as if you're scooping the pelvis forward and lowering it back down. You might feel that you're opening the knees a little bit more. And 3 more. Lifting up through the pelvis. Press the feet together. And lowering them back down. Last 2. Squeeze the feet together. Lift the hips. And lowering them back down. And last one. Lifting up the hips. Hold it here for 10. You can even wriggle a little bit. 9, 8, 7, 6. Belly in. 5, 4, 3, 2. And then keep squeezing the butt cheek underneath you, and then bring the hips slowly down. Ooh, I really feel that my outward rotation is quite open then. And then try to keep the knees down. Walk your hands very slowly towards you. Try to keep it open. And then from here, bring your hands forward towards your ankles. And then start to fold forward. So slowing it now slowly down. Maybe relax your head. If you do need to bring the legs a little bit further forward for comfort, you can do that. Let your lower back release and just take a few breathers here so you're nice and relaxed now. And find a long, deep breath where you can maybe sigh it out. Good. And the next 2 poses that we're going to do, it's just a holding, so we're going to hold poses for quite a little bit longer. So we're going to hold them for about 2 to 3 minutes each. So we're nice and calm when we leave this practice. Alright. And start to roll yourself back up. Good. So the first pose that we're going to come in is a pigeon pose, sleeping pigeon. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll over to one side, bringing our knees together, and coming to a tabletop position. If you wish, and if you want to, you can tuck your toes and just push your hips back and up for a moment, just to release any built-up tension or discomfort. Just taking a little bend through one leg and then the other, keeping the core active. And then slowly bringing your knees down to the floor when you're ready. And we're starting with our right knee. Right knee is coming forward towards the right wrist. Tuck your left toes under. I'll show you an alternative if pigeon doesn't feel right for your knee. And then you can bring the right foot out to the left side of your mat and draw your hips backwards. So both your hip bones are still facing forward towards the front of the mat, so you're not collapsing into one side. If you're feeling your hips are quite high and you're not really feeling this, maybe place something underneath your hips like a pillow or towel, and see if you can find that wiggle so you feel that you're opening up your glute and IT band. So here on the sides, that's where you want to feel it. You might also feel it in the outward rotation of the leg. If your knee doesn't like this at all, then I'll show you an alternative. You might want to bend both knees like an S shape. Right, this way, like an S shape like we did basically before. And then just come with the hands in front of your right knee, and then lean over your right knee, and then relax the head maybe on your hands, or you can just rest the forehead on the floor. So a little bit less intense for the IT band. If you're in the pigeon, make sure that you're supported, that the left leg so that the knee doesn't turn out. So you don't want to do a thing in between, you want to do either or. So your knee is on the floor. And then bring your elbows down maybe, and then bring your forehead down. And then we're going to stay here. So try now to relax fully, so softening. Take maybe a deep breath in. And watch the time. And just feel if you are in a position where you are still gripping in the hips. And see if you can send deep breath and notice what the sensation is. Is it something that you're quite happy to stay in for 2 minutes? But if it's too intense, then see if you need to adjust a little bit. We're stretching now out the whole area that we strengthened and worked with today. Let your breath now become nice and slow and deep. The weight of your hips is grounding your shoulders and your neck and your jaw are relaxed. Just a few more moments here. And then slowly walking your hands underneath your shoulders. And tucking the back toes under, bringing your left knee back in, and moving your right leg back into tabletop position. If you want, you can give your hips another little rotation over to one side and then the other. And then come to the other side, bringing your left knee forward, tucking the right toes behind you, and then moving that left foot towards your right mat. That's still keeping your hip bones facing forward and slightly, as you can see. Or if you do the alternative, bending both your knees and folding over the left leg. And then again, finding the right position, maybe placing something underneath your left hip, like a block or a book or a pillow. And then again, making sure there's no sensation in your knees. Coming to that edge of your body. Finding where is the sensation here. Feeling your glutes and IT band. And then just breathe and relax, and allowing yourself to fold forward. Just 2 minutes. Just letting yourself surrender to the stretch very calmly. Just a few more moments here. And then slowly coming back. Bring the hands back underneath your shoulders. Pushing the floor away. Tuck the back toes under. Bringing your back knee back in. Bring the knees underneath your hips. And then maybe come back into a downward facing dog just for a moment. Reaching your hips back and maybe paddling it out through the heels. Drawing the chest through the arms. Hopefully your legs feel quite buttery and warm and energized, but you'll sleep hopefully really well tonight. And then the last thing we're going to do, bring your knees down to the floor. Now I'll give you two options. One is a little bit more intense, the other one is a little bit more easy. So if you have a towel or a blanket, or the floor, got my blanket here, so I'm just going to take my blanket. We're going to come to frog, which is a little bit intense, so I'll show you alternatives as well. Frog is you're going to be on maybe a towel or something for your knees, so you're supporting your knees. Bring your hands in front of you. Your toes can be touching at the back together, or you can have the feet slightly out to the side. Turn sideways, so it's a bit easier. And then from here, see if you can slide your knees out to the side while your hips stay in the same position over your knees. So sliding the knees out to the side. You don't want to come forward with your hips. Hips stay over your knees. Finding that edge where you're feeling it, and then maybe moving your hips slightly back until you notice where's the intense feeling. This is your first option. You can also come down your elbows and then stay there. If you want more, flex your feet like a frog or like sitting on a very big horse. Option one. If this is too intense for you and your knees don't like it, what we can do now is come to happy baby. Maybe again with something underneath your hips. So you're coming onto your back, placing maybe the rolled up towel underneath your hips, and then bring your knees into your chest, and then bring your feet up and hold either the side of your ankles or hold the side of your feet. So basically a little bit more into the inner arm than the inner legs, but it's also quite nice to do. So a little bit, one is more into the inner thighs, so the abductors, the other one is more into the, what they're called, adductors. So, see, you can also lower the knees and just let them hang, sort of in between. And if you're in the intense version, I'll be there with you. So we'll figure out the time I do need my blanket, because I don't like it. Oh, my blanket is all messy. That's better. So I'm going to come down here, holding it here. I'm just going to stay here for 3 more minutes, so that's it, Ruth. That's it. Come back with your hips, Ruth. A bit more back there. How do you feel there? Is that alright? Yes, good. And then imagine that you are letting go of the tension anywhere. You're just breathing, allowing that energy of the hips to soften now. Not trying to push down, just being aware of what's happening. And being also with your edge, so not overstepping any boundaries of your body. minute here. If you feel your hips have let go a little bit, just exploring the new space. If you're in the frog, you might even want to try, which is quite intense, to just tilt your pelvis a little bit up and down. Very smoothly movements. If you're in the happy baby, you can do the same, so trying to get your tailbone towards the floor and then releasing. That again goes right into that groiny bit, the groiny bit, grindy bit. Alright, and then nice and slowly, if you're in your frog, if you have your knees wide apart on your front, start by just bending your knees in so that the big toes touch to the back. And this is a little bit difficult to come out if you were quite deep, I find, so be very careful. If you're in your happy baby, you might want to bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a little squeeze. So if you're in the frog, just slowly bring your hands underneath you and then lean over to one side so you can pull in one knee at a time. Nice and slowly. It's a bit of an aching and winding here. And then from here, let's come for a little rest. So lie on your back and just stretch your legs out from underneath you. Give your legs a little shake. Good. And then just to finish off, to bring the knees back into your chest, just for a moment, squeezing them in. And then rolling over to one side for a gentle twist, so knees over to one side. Keep the knees together and then holding maybe the top knee with your right hand. And open the chest to the side, or the chest to the sky, but your arm to the side. And breathe a few rounds of breath. Just breathing into the lower back and the rotation. And then slowly come back, bring the head back and then lift up your top leg and then the other, and then just a gentle twist to the other side. Knees over to the left and then opening up the arm to the side. And again, just breathe slowly. Try to let the lower back soften. Slowly bringing the top leg up and step it down, and then the other leg. And then when you're ready, just let your legs slide away from you. Give them a little shake and then have your arms by your side, or you can rest them on your belly. Take a deep breath in and then you can sigh it out and just take a couple of minutes here to just relax. Feel the weight of your legs. Let your heartbeat become calm by breathing slowly and steadily. You might feel the vibrating energy around the areas of your hips, so your whole pelvis. And then just let the hips become very heavy. Let the legs become even heavier. And then your torso, your shoulders and your shoulder blades, and your arms, and then your head. And if you wish to stay here for a little bit longer, of course you can. Otherwise, take a deep breath in through the nose and maybe reach your arms up and over the head and stretch yourself out. Pointing the toes, make yourself nice and long, belly in. And then just roll over to one side, bending your knees, pulling yourself into a small little ball. And then pushing the floor away, keeping the head soft. And you can come to seated for a moment, if you like. Feeling a new openness in the hips. And let's just take one deep breath in, reach the arms up. And out through the arms. And breathe in, lift the arms back up. And bring them to your heart center. And I thank you so much for joining me today. It's not particularly logo that I've done, but well done everyone. And let me know if you have any questions, and hope to see you again. Thank you.